Oh, whose friend are you? Like, no, I'm actually your cousin.
I kind of fit in here, but like I also don't, so I don't really know, and it's just like weird.
What is your ethnicity? National background? Like heritage? I'm like, you want to know what my race is?
Always out of my element, no blending in with either side.
Hi, I'm Asher Garavi.
I'm Jenni Rudolph.
I'm Jenni Rudolph. My name is Emblasia Harp.
I'm Ilana Steingart.
My name is Saria Schmidt.
I'm Coco Hong.
My name is Lauren Lee.
Hi, I'm Denise January.
My name is Marla Kishimoto.
My name is Nika.
I'm Olivia.
I'm Nina.
My name's Nick Banducci.
My name is Danny Moreno, and I am one of the background vocalists for Water and Oil.
My name is Claire Shea. I arranged the string parts for this wonderful song. I'm also playing viola.
My name's Louisa. I'm playing violin.
I am Noah Leroy Wing. I am the artist behind the album cover for Water and Oil.
My name is Brandon. I directed the Water and Oil video.
I'm Jared Chang Zizell. I was the director of photography.
My name's Kevin Kawano, and I had a small cameo role in Jenni's Water and Oil video.
They would ask me, what are you? Always what and never who.
So, what are you?
How I answer generally depends on how people ask.
I am a human being, but my ethnicity is Chinese, but I've always introduced myself as Chinese Burmese.
So technically Japanese Mexican, but it's weird because it's like early generation Mexicans. So we're mostly white, and I grew up in Mexico and didn't really have contact with Japan at all, so I consider myself Mexican.
This is how I usually answer the question. My mother is Japanese. My father, his parents were from Eastern Europe. His mother was from Poland. His father was from the Ukraine. But I'm 100% Jewish because you can't only be half Jewish. You can either be Jewish or you're not. It's determined by your mother, who is Japanese, but she converted to Judaism to marry my father. So that's what I am. I'm 150% of a person.
My mixed breakdown is Chinese, Ashkenazi Jewish, and a dusting of Swedish.
I am half Singaporean. My mom is from Singapore, and then my dad is European, Czechoslovakian, and Slovenian.
I am a quarter Japanese, a quarter Jewish, European-ish, and my dad was from El Salvador, so that's also mixed up with like Spanish, Portuguese, and then some indigenous Central American from El Salvador.
I'm white, but I'm also Japanese and Mexican.
I am half Chinese and half Italian.
I'm Black and Filipino.
I'm half Chinese and half Russian Jewish.
I am mixed race Indian and Vietnamese, which is seemingly a very rare mix, as the only other people I know are my sister and my little cousin, who is just a toddler right now.
I am half Iranian and half white.
I am mixed with half Filipino, half Swedish, and French. That math does not add up.
I'm half Japanese, and the other half of me is a mixture of French Canadian, Russian, and Polish.
My mom is Thai Chinese and my dad is German Swiss, so I'm a Thai Chinese, German Swiss mixed American. When I was a little kid, I used to get the percentages wrong. I used to say, I'm a quarter Thai, a quarter Chinese, a quarter German, a quarter Swiss, and all American. And as a little kid, that kind of goes over well with the adults.
I am Chinese and German, Swiss. My mom's family I can trace back to Daughters of the American Revolution. So pretty American, and my Chinese family has been here for 4 generations.
My father is Japanese. My mom is half French Canadian and half English Canadian.
I'm half Korean, a quarter Polish, and a quarter Hungarian.
I'm half Chinese American and half white. People try to guess my race a lot, and a lot of times they get it wrong. wrong. I've gotten like Mexican. I got Native American once. The first time someone guessed that I was half Chinese and half white was because she was also half Chinese and half white. I felt seen.
I am half Filipino, half white. I've gotten pretty much everything under the sun, from Albanian to Irish to Native American to Latina. Yeah. No one can tell what I am, which is cute.
Not a lot of people know that I'm Mexican American.
I think most people just assume that I'm white, but then also like a lot of people know that I have a twin and she looks mixed, so it's like, is she white? Is she mixed? I don't know.
People will definitely ask like, what is your, and they'll always hesitate, like, because they don't know how to say it without being offensive, and they'll be like, ethnicity, national, background, like heritage. I'm like, you want to know what my race is?
Mostly people will say, well, you're something else, and it doesn't matter where I'm at. They're just like, you're not us.
I don't like how people can be so quick to assume someone's identity and judge them off of that when you don't really know the person.
Something that kind of embodies being mixed to me is just always towing the line between multiple identities and multiple communities.
I kind of fit in here, but like I also don't, so I don't really know, and it's just like weird.
Growing up living with two completely different cultures in one house, I experienced a lot of clashing.
Either I'm too Italian for my Chinese side, or I'm way too Chinese for my Italian side.
I feel like a lot of people didn't kind of understand the duality of having one parent who was an immigrant and one who was born here.
When I was younger, the thing I experienced most was being othered with like a Jewish group of friends. Someone might say something a little anti-Asian, the eye thing or the accent, but it was never to hurt me. It was always just a joke. And then being with, non-Jewish friends, there would be various anti-Semitic comments made. Again, always as a joke. Sometimes people didn't even know I was Jewish.
The Jewish community, at least in Toronto, really considers itself a very homogeneous community, even though that's really not true. I mean, there are Jews from all over the world, but I was the only Asian-looking person in my school, which got me a lot of strange attention. Like the principal was always walking on eggshells around me as if it was her responsibility to protect me from racism. I got the "what are you" question all the time.
I think my struggle is very different from other Asians, from other Blasians as well. I am light skinned, I don't look black. A lot of the times I meet my own family members who I've never met before, and they'd meet me and be like, oh, whose friend are you? Like, no, I'm actually your cousin.
Coming from a fragmented family, I've had to experience these different facets of my identity at different intervals. Whether it's going to a Christmas Eve party with most of my Mexican family and eating traditional foods, or whether it's going to commemorate my great-grandfather for his participation in the 442nd as a Japanese American soldier, whether it's going to Italy and seeing whether or not I still have family out there in this small farming town of Tassignano.
When certain days like Dia de los Muertos comes around, it's always tough because I don't know which one to celebrate. Maybe I go with the one that I look more like, but then I'm missing half of me.
My experience being mixed is growing up in a primarily white neighborhood, not looking white, but acting white. Whatever that means.
You don't speak Tagalog, you don't act Filipino, why are you an artist and not a doctor like the rest of us?
I was growing up in Myanmar, which is all called Burma, and when we celebrate the culture there, it kind of always seemed like I was role-playing.
It made me feel like I couldn't really embrace my Filipino culture because everyone around me was white and eating mostly American food, buying American clothing, listening to American music. At home, I was eating stuff that was different from them. None of their parents were speaking a different language at home.
I love Asian food, like that's primarily what I eat, but whenever I go to the Chinese market, I feel like I don't look Asian enough.
There were times where I'd go to a Japanese supermarket or a predominantly Japanese event. I didn't speak any Japanese, but my dad would overhear things and then tell my mom and I that there's somebody behind us who's saying, oh, he married a white woman. What a mistake. It was never a good sentiment.
My poor mother, I had to witness her getting challah bread slapped out of her hand at the grocery store by Jewish ladies who didn't think she was entitled to be there. A lot of bad stuff that left me feeling really alienated. And even though I speak Hebrew, I was raised in the Jewish school from kindergarten to high school, I have every right to be there, I walked away. And in university, I basically left the entire Jewish community. And instead, I'm trying to chase down my Japanese heritage, which is something that I've lost. I don't speak Japanese. I really want to. There are these one half of me that I could access easily, and they don't seem to want me. And then this other half of me that is really hard to access, and I'm struggling with that every day.
I didn't grow up with my dad, but my mom, who's not Hispanic, put me in a bilingual Spanish-speaking daycare to expose me to that community. I was super femme and really, really queer as a little kid. I got teased a lot. So it was definitely a double-edged experience of wanting to be part of this community, but also like having this other part of my identity, which is my queerness, at odds odds with that.
Something that has always been really important to me as a mixed race person is making sure not to put yourself into one category. Like, you can be both, and it's not one or the other.
With like being one race, it's easier to categorize people into stereotypes. But with being mixed, it's like, all right, I'm just gonna exist and be whatever.
I don't have to have anything like define me other than what I just like present and set for myself to the world. I think challenges about being mixed race are your race tending to be a topic of conversation, especially when it comes to dating.
Oh, you're half Asian? You sound like a great segue, like so I can try a little bit of Asian without having to fully commit to like a whole Asian girl.
I got told in school that I'm ethnish and that being mixed is in because you can play a wide variety of races and things like that. I don't do that. I just apply for stuff that's, looking for an Asian person or a white person or, both.
I personally really enjoy it when I look at someone and see their questioning gaze because it challenges the norm that you are what you look like.
I really want people to know that mixed race people come in all different shapes and sizes. They all look different. There's not one specific type of mixed person.
I think being mixed, so much of the emphasis is on what you look like. I just want to say to anyone who's mixed out there and is trying to figure it out that it's not just that. It is all about who you are and your cultures and your family history. If you can dig into it and really claim who you are, then that's what you should do.
My dad's generation, like he and his siblings grew up in Canada in the 50s and 60s where it wasn't really a good thing to be Japanese. So a lot of the Japanese culture that might have been in their family was put to the side a little bit and not really encouraged as much. So it's been really interesting to see in my generation, all of my cousins, we're all half Japanese. We are all very interested in that Japanese heritage because now it's not a problem. And actually my dad's generation now is also more interested than they used to be, I think. Like my dad went to Japan for the first time ever in his life just last year. Some of us are learning Japanese and it's really cool to see us getting back in touch with those roots again.
I'm in two very big customs and like food cultures. There's a lot of like family gathering. There's a lot of being in a big family.
We're getting ready for New Year's at my house because I live with my grandfather and Persian New Year is at the end of March. So I'm setting up my sofra and I get to experience something a little different and something that's really personal and special.
My favorite part of being mixed is I can connect with all these different cultures, all these different facets of the world.
I feel like I can be more open to like different groups of people and be more accepting to everyone.
Growing up, I definitely feel like I had the privilege of living in a community that celebrated diversity.
Most of my friends group was pretty diverse and I never really was made to feel like I didn't belong, which was very lucky.
I've always been proud of my identity and I've been taught by my family to be proud, and I'm really lucky to be surrounded by people who love me for who I am.
I love being mixed.
Being mixed is a really big part of my identity. A lot of my artwork is about being mixed, which is why it was so exciting to be a part of this song because it just resonated with me immediately from the first audio clip that Jenni sent me.
This is me on water, no blending in with either side.
Who am I? A singer, a vegan, I'm from California, I am an anti-racist person, I'm here, and I'm queer.
I am a creative that's really trying to figure her life out right now after graduating from Columbia College Chicago doing film directing.
I'm a singer with Countermeasure a cappella, and I'm also a PhD student. I'm writing my dissertation on Bronze Age Aegean art.
I am an actor and a model in Los Angeles. I come from San Luis Obispo area.
I'm the lead vocalist and one of the guitarists in the band Joker's Hand.
I like being in nature, I like creativity, I like watercolor, I like tie-dye, I like singing, I like marbling, I like making bracelets.
Currently I'm a student at UMass Boston. I'm an environmental studies and sustainability major. I also have a passion for music. I play keys and I sing, and I'm from Huntington Beach, California.
I'm a Toronto, Canada area audio professional. I currently work in the video game industry as a voice designer, and I also am a musician on the side, and currently I'm singing with a cappella group called Countermeasure. We've been together for 10 years.
I'm a singer. I love skiing. I play the ukulele every now and then. I love making video games, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm a master's student at the University of California, Santa Cruz's Games and Playable Media program.
I went to school for musical theater. I have been living in New York now for a couple years and I'm just trying to do the do and, be booked and blessed.
I am an event producer. I work with Tractivist, which is an Asian American music group. We do a radio show, we do events, and it's the light of my life. It gives me so much joy to be a part of Asian American circles in a place where I didn't find acceptance earlier in life, but now I can own it and it's mine.
I'm currently a student at Berklee College of Music studying music therapy, and I'm specifically interested in working for premature infants in the NICU, as well as doing work in prenatal and postpartum care. Music has been my solace in life, and songwriting is definitely a huge escape for me. Helping others through the power that music is capable of is a gift every day.
I'm definitely a New Yorker. That's a very big part of my identity. I currently work for some nonprofits. I'm considering trying to finish extra schooling to become a therapist. I'm really excited about a volunteer opportunity I just started doing where we actually go into psych wards and do karaoke with them.
I've been sewing since I was 5 because my grandmother is Mexican and kind of forced me to. I learned how to sew on the mechanical sewing machine until I was 18, and I came to New York and I was like, wait, I'm in the capital of fashion. So I decided to try to do a collection. Then I went to Seoul for Fashion Week. That's where my focus is outside of school. I'm an engineering student at Columbia. I study computer science, specifically digital systems. That's really helpful for cybersecurity, which is what I'm interested in.
I am calling in from Oakland, California, where I just moved to start my career as a high school art teacher. Aside from being an artist, I am really passionate about teaching. As a trans mixed person, I want to support and uplift mixed and trans students so they can go on to create awesome work like this project. Right now, both education and trans rights are at risk, so if you live in an area where those fights are happening, please get involved and talk to your representatives. Email them, call them, whatever it takes to get them to hear you.
I'm an artist all around. I love fashion, I love makeup. I'm an art major, art education specifically, hoping to major in music as well, maybe vocal performance. And I'm also queer, very proud to be queer. I just want to live this life queerly, freely, and in an artsy way.
It was an honor to work on this project all around. Super cool to work with Jenni and get insight on her mixed identity, go around photographing in LA, and I'm really impressed and proud with how all the different parts came together in the end.
There's a lot of mixed voices coming out, and I think we're really privileged to feel that camaraderie because we didn't feel it growing up.
No one talks about being mixed, no one writes music about being mixed, and I think it's something really important because I wish that I had this song growing up.
I really hope that this song really touches all sorts of people, mixed race or not, and allows them to fully embrace themselves.
Especially to my fellow mixed people out there, this song's for you.
We are water.